Hey, what's up? My name is Munchie, and I'm a former athlete just like you or somebody you know. I like to call myself a professional former athlete just like you or somebody you know. And what I mean by that is most of us, as former athletes, don't get paid to play a sport, but we're very much professionals in different capacities. And we're very much competitors just like we were as athletes. Some of us know it, some of us don't. What you're looking at here on the Wash Pod, our hub of content, our being the Old and Washed Up Athletes Association. This is called 30 or Full, where we take a brief time out from our lives as former athletes, as competitors in different senses, to watch, view, discuss, talk about things that inspire, challenge, and empower us and other people like us to continue to be better than we ever were as athletes in life after sports. This particular segment on 30 or Full is dedicated to Nipsey Hussle, the deceased rapper, died 3 years ago, almost to the day. This is April 1st, so no, this is not an April Fool's joke. March 31st, 2019, Nipsey was slain in his hometown, actually right outside of his Marathon clothing store, and you can research it, so I'm not going to go into too many more details here. But anyway, Nipsey was a very influential hip-hop artist, and in particular, to me, one of my favorite hip-hop artists, and still is to this day. I was a music producer at one point in time. I don't really do it anymore, but at the time, one of my friends, my brothers, my former roommates, Trayvon Sutton, actually produced a beat that Nipsey Hussle has on one of his mixtapes called The Marathon, and the song is called The Mansion. We'll link it in the description here. So kind of a unique situation, and what really inspired me to put this together on 30 or Full here on the Wash Pod. So with that, we'll jump into it. Right before we get to it, I need you to do two things. The first one is a three-parter we always ask. I need you to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get updates on all things, on all releases on here on the Wash Pod. And then two, I need you to go to theoldandwashedup.com/washpod and provide us some feedback. Click the widget on there right where it says click the appropriate button. Click that, record your response, your input, your feedback, whatever comments you want to make, so we can include it on future releases here on the Wash Pod. There's a third thing. If you like this, if you've seen this, see any value in what we got going on here, please share this amongst your friends, your coworkers, or any former athletes you think could find use or value in this material or in this content. Look forward to hearing from you. Let's jump into it. Peace.
Time out. 30 seconds. Start it now, please.
Long-winded, running through this life like it was mine. Never settling, but setting every goal high. 1,000 burpees on the path to my own destruction or success. But what is a mistake without the lesson? See, the best teacher in life is your own experience. None of us know who we are until we fail. They say every man is defined by his reaction to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? Whatever you do, homie, give your heart to it and stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong.
Hey, what's up? My name is Munchie. I'm a former athlete just like you, and this is 30 or Full.
Long-winded, running through this life like it was mine.
Long-winded, running through this life like it was mine. If we look at life like the marathon it is, like the marathon that Nipsey Hussle branded as his own, to be long-winded is the best possible trait we could have as former athletes. I think that's why Nip chooses to start this particular set of spoken lyrics this way, to remind us that we should all strive to be long-winded. Now, I'm going to try not to be long-winded with this diatribe or monologue, whatever you want to call it, but life is meant to be lived with the long-term view. It's the bottom line I think I'm taking away from this. Independent of the amount of time we actually get and however we measure it, the amount of time really doesn't matter as much as what we do with the moments we're given.
Message.
Well, I know that we'd all like something filling.
Chili Peter.
Running through this life like it was mine. It's saying that though the race is supposed to be long, we're still really running our own individual race through and within those moments we're given. We're not standing, we're not watching, we're not hoping, we're not dreaming, we're running, we're taking action. So if Father Time never stops, then neither does the race. And really the only treadmill that stops when Father Time presses that button is when life ends. So until then, we're supposed to be running. The past tense of the like it was mine part of that statement draws attention to the idea that Nip, I think now at that moment, realized he's really been in control the entire time. So should we. As athletes, our schedules and requirements, commitments are largely decided by people outside of us, whether that's parents, coaches, significant others' expectations, et cetera, or some combination of all those things are things that dictated us. But in the end, the life we lived and the life we're living to this point is still our own. A race that we can only run as far as we decide to take it and stop when we decide to.
Message!
That's why your teeth are so yellow. Yellow Peter!
1,000 burpees on the path to my own destruction or success. But what is a mistake without the lesson?
Yeah, 1,000 burpees on the path to my own destruction or success. First of all, 1,000 burpees is a lot of damn burpees. And I can't find a single video somewhere on the internet of Nipsey Hussle doing a damn burpee. But I'm going to take him at his word. They can knock out a few. He's a slender guy, but he looked like he can knock out a few burpees. All jokes aside, what Nip is getting at here is the idea that just like burpees are hard, the hard stuff is what's required whether we like it or not. A lot of us as former athletes will gravitate towards what we know, what we like, what feels normal to us. So football players love the powerlifting and anything involving exertion of force and showing we have power or combat. Basketball players, on the other hand, are like, fleeting, instinctive, light work, avoiding anything that'll weigh them down. Baseball players will be somewhere in between. Just don't make me work too hard. I don't like to sweat. I just run at a sprinter's pace, short periods of time. In all seriousness, each sport has its things that are the like to do stuff and the hard stuff. And the hard stuff here are burpees, especially the number 1,000. This is what we all know we need to do. Not what we want to do, what we need to do. Things like mental and emotional wellness work. Things like social and relational and relationship wellness work. Things like financial wellness work are the work we have to do as former athletes. The destruction or success part, I think, is Nip acknowledging that we all know we need to do the things we need to do. But a lot of us are conditioned to look for the result at a particular moment in time as an indication of whether to continue to do that work or not. This is the destruction or success part. Because nobody can predict the outcome, truthfully. Yet faithfully, we must do the work without expectation of a particular result, a particular sequence, or a particular time of that result occurring. In any season in your life as an athlete, did things go exactly as you expected them to? Did you ever get injured? Did you ever lose a game? Did you ever get sick? This is how life is after sports. We can't predict what the results of our work may be, but the work is the work nonetheless. So a faithful commitment to doing the work is really the only requirement, the only thing we have control over. So do the work. Then, over time, let time decide the outcome.
Message!
Hey man, I got some terrible bunions. Onion, pick it up!
But what is a mistake without the lesson? See, the best teacher in life is your own experience. None of us know who we are until we fail.
But what is a mistake without the lesson? See, the best teacher in life is your own experience. None of us know who we truly are until we fail. Here I hear Nip acknowledging that there will be setbacks, mistakes, challenges. Every one of us can relate to a regret from our playing days. Something we shoulda, coulda, or woulda done different if given a chance. But in that looking back, we also need to connect the dots between the commonalities of situations then and situations now that are likely still present in our current lives. Something you shoulda, coulda, or woulda done different is something you should, could, or would do different if you can connect the similarities between situations and the lessons of whatever mistakes you learn from your time as an athlete. So go watch the tape of your life as an athlete, but don't skip anything and tell yourself what you find. Not just the time on the court or the field or the track.
Message!
I don't care. Pick it up. I said beans, not green.
You said green.
I said beans.
All right. There you go. Beans. Pick it up and weigh it.
They say every man is defined by his reaction to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you?
They say every man is defined by his reaction to any given situation. Well, who would you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? If we're being honest with ourselves, we have a list of situations in our lives as former athletes that we could do differently if given a second chance. Not in the sense of regret, but in the sense of truly being accountable to an outcome of our own choosing. In the sense of being empowered through experience and circumstance. I think this is what Nip is saying here. The only way we don't get to define ourselves moving forward to be more than what we've ever been is to allow the stories of who we used to be held in higher regard by us than anyone else. When we carry that shadow, it casts a darkness over the brightest aspects of anything we could have ever become or be since then. But nobody knows who you truly were back then on a holistic level. Only you do. Yeah, there were people that watched you play, teammates practiced with you, loved ones supported you all along. People consoled you, teachers helped or hurt some of you, coaches pushed, prodded, motivated, tried everything. But only you were the holistic person that walked through each of those moments and came out something on the other hand. Everybody else was a spectator. So who are you now? If the race isn't over, those same spectators are watching and telling themselves a story about who you are based on your actions today. Now, their story doesn't matter as much as your story you tell yourself. So nobody outside of those spectators matter as much as the inner voice telling you what it all means. So who are you? Who will you be? And whatever you do, homie, give your heart to it and stay strong. Pretty self-explanatory. Thanks, Nip. Rest in peace. Old is dope. All right, that was 30 or 4 on the Wash Pod. Our brief time out from life after sports to talk about things that are common to former athletes to help us stay inspired, challenged, and empowered to be better than we ever were as athletes. So what do you think about it? What did you think about what you just saw? You agreed? You liked the song? You liked some of the quotes? Can you relate? Whatever you just thought, whatever your response was, I can't hear it, we can't hear it, we can't see it. I would rather hear it than read it or even just have it stay in your head. So if you thought of something right then and there when I said, hey, what did you think about it? Go to oldandwashedup.com/washpod. Again, oldandwashedup.com/washpod. There is a button on there that you should click. It says click the appropriate button. It's an orange widget right below the video. If you go on that website, you'll see it's very obvious. Click that, record it, it'll ask for your name and email. That email will go to us and we'll include your feedback on future releases here on the Wash Pod. And if you haven't, just like in the intro, I need you to do 2 things. First one's a 3-parter. 1, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, turn them on so you get future releases and all updates here on the Wash Pod. And then 2, go to oldandwashedup.com/washpod, click that feedback button, record your voice, send it to us. We'll include it here on Wash Pod. All right, with that, peace.